All right, hello again, everybody. This is Chuck with bKey Sim Media, and this time around, I'm doing another how-to video, and this will cover what I'm doing so far with the iRacing Motorsport Simulations Tempest Weather System that they released just a few hours ago, and a lot of people have been experimenting so far, and I've been doing some hosted sessions here and there and joining in some other stuff. And I was going to pass along what I've been doing with the weather so far. And specifically, I've been using the timeline editor, which right here in the panel that I'm in here is an iRacing service. This is where you would create a race if you're going to host a race. So I'm going to go through the steps here, basically setting up a session and specifically highlighting on what I'm doing with the Tempest Weather System. So to do this, instead of using the last settings, which would have everything that I had before in the last setting, or last session that I did, I'm going to go here to new race, and it'll bring everything up, and we're starting with a clean slate. So I'm going to set this up as bKSM how to Tempest. All right, description how to. None of this really matters right now, but just gonna walk you through the steps. Also, here you'll notice the wizard. I think this may be the default way that it comes up, but you can do it this way. Has a little less intensive stuff to deal with. Or you can go to the all steps, which I personally prefer. So, server details. Doesn't really matter right now, but there they are. This is in Boston. I am the admin. Time limit. I want to set this for just a practice session only. And it defaults to an hour. That's fine. For the car, I'm going to add the new car. So we got a new car. Super Formula Lights. And going to add it to this one. I haven't ran a session with it. I'm going to soon. All right, for the track here, this is fantastic already for me because you got to drop down here. It's that you can do rain enabled. And what's awesome is all of the asphalt road courses, everything, all of the little courses, the little odd layouts and stuff, the alternate layouts, they're all available with rain. I mean, wow. Okay. It just blows me away because there are so many of these small little tracks like Barber here. You know, A and B, look at that. That is fantastic. I love running these alternate little tracks here. I'm going to go ahead and set this one at short A. It really doesn't matter right now. Okay. Track options. These I would have at a standing start. The time of day really doesn't matter right now. It's at noon. That works for me right now. All right, here we go. Into the weather. And you've got three basic formulas and methods of doing things here. You've got static weather, which, as it says, quickly generate a consistent static condition. So once it starts, nothing changes. It stays that way. The tried and true iRacing formula for years. Most everything stays the same, and there will be no changes, generally speaking, other than with the cars due to the track and slight ambient changes I've noticed through the years. Then we have the forecasted weather, which I don't think that it is so specific that if your local weatherman at Watkins Glen says it's going to rain today, I'm not sure that you're going to get on iRacing and it rains because of that. I don't think it's directly that tied in. I think from the way I've read it that it takes a generalized period history for the area, so you kind of get an average weather pattern vibe. It's a little loose, I guess. It sounds like that you may get it this way this time or that way another time. There seems to be a little fluid stuff built into it that you don't have to mess with. It just kind of comes up and does it for you, you know. So it's going to work an average, I think. Like I said, I don't think it's so specific that You can rule it by the weather that you're told, but it's very, very cool under this. You can go through all of this. See here, you can, you can affect quite a few things here inside of it, actually. And it will, kind of work an average for you. It'll give you, the flavor of what you've done here, but it'll also kind of manipulate it as it goes along. Back to what I've been using, and so far it just makes sense. This is the timeline editor, and you click on here, and here we go. So nothing, click to add conditions. You'll notice that right here is our practice session, and it's set up from noon to 1 p.m. just a touch ahead of the hour. And you'll notice we have space 2 hours ahead of the starting point when you're placed in the world. And this has an hour, and these are 15-minute increments. So it looks like an hour and 15 minutes afterwards. So what I've been doing, usually you can default this auto. I've been setting the temperature lately in the past 3 that I've done to warm, which has kind of helped dry it out a little bit at certain points. But depending on what I do with other things, I've had the wind at light. So I'll leave it at that. So you click on here, and here we go. You have your clear, partly cloudy, mostly cloudy that we've had for years, and your general overcast. We have fog light and fog heavy, and we have rain light, rain, and rain heavy. And if you want to try some interesting stuff, rain heavy, give it a few minutes, and yeah, it gets interesting. So far I've ran with rain and light rain, and the method I've been doing so far with these sessions is I did 2-hour sessions. So I'm just got this one at 1, but I've done 2-hour sessions so far in hosting. I've been setting it up where rain is starting here for 15 minutes, a half hour, 45 minutes. Then I've been running a period of fog. And then usually a mostly cloudy or even a clear in between this here. To have this session when you're in a place in the world, you're on a wet track that there should be no rain falling, but you've got a wet track and a great atmosphere, and you may be starting to get a little drying in some of the places. That's where the warm temp kind of helps. Maybe if I raise the wind up, it might help too, but right now I've been keeping it light. Like I said, this is all real quick. It's been a few hours, and still just getting experimenting, but yeah, it's pretty cool so far. All right, so to do this, I've been going with rain, and then you can start here and do another, delete that one, or you can start back here, go up here to the between, and you can drag it. So that's cool. I'm going to set this at 30 minutes. Then I'm going to add a light fog. And I'll keep that. You know what? I think I'll start this session. But it doesn't matter. I'm not going to. Anyway. But I'm going to have 45 minutes of moderate rain. And I've noticed, you know what, actually I want to back this up a little bit, because this is what I've been doing. Here's how I've been doing it. I've noticed that the periods of fog kind of helps the moisture stay around a little bit, so I've been keeping the fog right about half hour or so before the start of the session, and then running a mostly cloudy or partly cloudy, which I'm going to run a partly cloudy on this one, and can run it through to about 15 minutes. Then I'm going to add a light rain and shrink it down. Well, that's as far as it'll go. All right, a light rain. and light fog, and you can close it out however you want. You know, whatever you want to do. You want it to overclass, you want it to clear up. You know, it's just wherever you want to go with it. That's what's really cool. Oh, I'm seeing a split in half. Can you split? What does this do? Oh wow, look at that. Or did it make it smaller, or did it just duplicate it? Okay, I don't need to do that. That's interesting though. I hadn't noticed that yet. Wow. All right. So it's still, like I said, I think the smallest you can go is 15 minutes so far. But yeah, so there's basically what I've been doing. There's the basic timeline thing. I know I chatted around a little bit, but you know, it's all kind of what you're trying to achieve here and through the middle and to the end. The longer the session, like I said, I've got 2 hours session so far, and it is a little more dynamic. You can see that over a span of an hour, you know, it becomes a little cluttered. But what happens out here, I'm finding a lot of value in what happens before, and coming into the track with it wet or partially drying with all different lighting and clouds and no rain falling for a while. I'm finding a lot of good in that. And once again, you kind of adjust these as you wish. You can move them around a little bit, you know. Yeah, you can do this. I think you can you? Yeah, that move. Yeah, cool. But yeah, this is. I'm just going to have so much fun. I can't overstate that. So you submit it, and here we go. There you go. You've got a custom weather system ready to go for a barber, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Then you go for your race options, and okay, here's an interesting thing. There's a license split going on here with the new iRacing situation. They're doing a lot of changes, a lot of little UI changes and other service changes, and they have made a split here in the road licenses. So we have a sports car and a Formula car license now. So this being the Super Formula Light would be a Formula car. And you got that. You can set your I rating range here. You can set your incident limit if you wish, and so forth. There's all kind of entire rules, etc., etc. You can hide numbers and decals. Disallow virtual mirror, etc., etc. All kinds of things you can do right through here while setting up. You've got your series branding if you want to use it, and I'm using none. I've got everything. Usually I set this here when I'm doing open public stuff to allow all driving aids. There's a lot of handicapped drivers that use the iRacing service here, and there are just endless devices and controllers and things that they use to race iRacing, and you know, shutting them off to all of the things that they use, or anyone really, you know, when we're out here trying to have fun and you're learning a new system in week 13, you know, allowing people to use whatever they're comfortable with to have fun isn't a bad idea. So unless I'm doing some sort of, you know, very specific thing, I allow all driving aids except for the relaxed view. That's gotta draw the line somewhere. But yeah, you can, you know, you see here all the things you can do, and there's track conditions for starting with a rain and covered track. I don't like to generate anything. First of all, if it generates, I think it adds a little rubber, and the rubber gets really, really wet. So you just start out really, really slick water way, and why? You know, basically the rain has washed the track off, and let's create it. So you can add your AI opponents here if you want, and you see you can generate a roster. And there's 31. But yeah, you can drop it down and do whatever. You can add, it warns me over 40 cars, so I haven't gone that high, but I've been able to run it with a good pack of AI drivers, and it's amazing. All the mist flying and stuff is just crazy. But yes, you would check out here and would create your system. And yeah, that's pretty much how I've been going about setting up the Tempest Weather System here on iRacing. And yeah, keep an eye out for it in action. All right, this is Chuck bKey Sim Media with the how-to series video for the iRacing Tempest Weather System.